Normally, we double from the low 50s to well over 100. I think this time we go from the 50s to that 80 number that people are talking about it. But that's the fair value. The fair value is going to be somewhere in the 80,000s. But we'll go right through fair value during this whole Thanksgiving, you tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on and so forth, like the Brett commercial. And I think between kind of Thanksgiving and December, we're likely to see, and it might even run into the first part of the new year, we're likely to see the same type of parabolic move that we saw in each of the previous cycles.
Yusko emphasizes the importance of Bitcoin's halving event, a built-in mechanism that reduces block rewards every 4 years. This reduction creates a supply shock, reducing the number of new Bitcoins entering the market, which historically drives up prices. According to Yusko, Bitcoin's upcoming halving will likely push the network value from the $50,000 range to $80,000 or more. He describes this rise as part of a predictable cycle. Once prices start climbing, human psychology kicks in and investors chase momentum, propelling Bitcoin into higher valuations. Yusko coins this post-halving rally as the Thanksgiving effect, where excitement about Bitcoin spreads quickly, just like the classic tell two friends marketing model. He projects this year's Thanksgiving season could see Bitcoin reach six-digit levels, possibly peaking around $110,000 to $130,000. However, the rally may extend beyond Thanksgiving, potentially stretching into the new year as market momentum builds.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Contrary to popular belief, Bitcoin would have a breakout year post-halving and into this Thanksgiving period. We would likely see six digits. I think we'll be well into six digits. You know, is it 110, 120, 130? I don't really know. And why? What was the basis for that? Well, we had a halving event, right, which is where the block rewards get cut in half, and that happens every 4 years. Now, what's interesting about that, it's one of the most ingenious things in the code, and there's a lot of ingenious things in the hard code of Bitcoin, but it's really ingenious that every 4 years, you motivate an event that causes price to rise.
Exactly.
Well, as soon as the price starts to rise, what do human beings do? We chase momentum. So the momentum followers come in and that pushes price further. And then we get what I call the Thanksgiving effect. Yeah. And I think this Thanksgiving will be the best Thanksgiving ever, because what's going to happen, I believe, this Thanksgiving is the network value today is somewhere in call it the high 50,000s. Well, that was the halving event occurs. So the network value should double. Normally, we double from the low 50s to well over 100. I think this time we go from the 50s to that 80 number that people are talking about it. But that's the fair value. The fair value is going to be somewhere in the 80,000s. But we'll go right through fair value during this whole Thanksgiving, you tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on and so forth, like the Brett commercial. And I think between kind of Thanksgiving and December, we're likely to see, and it might even run into the first part of the new year, we're likely to see the same type of parabolic move that we saw in each of the previous cycles. And to answer your question, if Trump wins, and we'll see what happens, but it looks good. He's basically said, look, I'm going to be pro-crypto. I don't think he may actually be pro-crypto. I think his kids are. But I think he's smart enough to see, there's 260 million people that own this thing around the world. If I make them happy, they'll vote for me. That works. Not all of them in the US, but I think he figured that out. So he's talked about things like a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That would be hugely beneficial for price. Harris, on the other hand, why she didn't just jump on the bandwagon? I don't know. I mean, ideologically, she didn't want to piss off the Elizabeth Warren crowd. I don't know. Huge mistake in my mind.
Yeah.
I think she
It
lost
is an odd situation,
a
that's
whole
for sure.
bunch of voters. Being a political candidate and saying, I don't like Bitcoin, alienates a large voting bloc that likely is going to swing the election. If Harris were to win, I do believe we'd have a sell-off in BTC short term. A Harris win would be wildly better for Bitcoin long term, but horrible for the rest of us, because the idea that you can print money out of thin air forever and the value will increase is so illogical.
Yeah.
And but she's convinced them that it does work. And yet here we are, like you said, gold at all-time high prices, real estate and stocks, quote unquote, at all-time highs. Oh, but here's the weird thing. Stocks are only at highs if we value them in toilet paper, in dollars. If we value stocks in gold, they're the same price today, Paul, as 1996. I'm wildly bullish on all of it. Now, doesn't mean it will be an easy road, and doesn't mean we'll have to, have policies and procedures and techniques to sift through the garbage. I mean, knowing what's real and what's not is really important. Now, one thing is blockchains can fix that, right? We can, what blockchains allow is for the fixing of unique assets in time and space, right? We can have a timestamp on things that are real, real pictures, real videos, real commentary. So that's a good thing. And we'll manage through it. I mean, what's interesting about tech is in every tech evolution or revolution, there were predictions of doom and gloom, right? Oh, this is going to end the world as we know it. Oh, this is going to be so terrible. Oh, it's going to destroy jobs. Yeah, we've destroyed millions and millions and millions of jobs with new technology. But here's a stat. There are more jobs today than any time in human history. You just spent so much of your life surviving. And now we don't have to. So now we've unleashed creativity in ways that we could never imagine. So pretty cool.
Yusko cautions that the road ahead will not be smooth. The crypto space is filled with speculative projects, and distinguishing between lasting innovations and short-lived fads will be crucial. However, he believes blockchain technology will ultimately create new job opportunities and unleash human creativity, much like previous technological revolutions. He dismisses fears that new technology will lead to mass unemployment, highlighting that every industrial revolution in history was accompanied by predictions of doom. Yet, society has always adapted, finding new ways to thrive. Yusko sees blockchain as a similar force for good, enabling greater transparency and trust in the financial system.
You got Bitcoin at the top, Ethereum's the crown prince. But here's the problem. Some of those other princes, and you mentioned them, Sui, Solana, etc., Avalanche, are nipping at the heels of the crown prince. And the challenge is, someone asked me this question. I said, that's a really good question. I can't answer. They said, if Ethereum didn't exist and it was invented today, would anyone use it? Like, it's slower, more costly, does kind of the same stuff. Probably not. Okay, so why do people use it? Well, because it's got a great installed base. And Paul Romer won the Nobel Prize. He said it's not the best technology that wins, it's the technology that gets critical mass first. So is Ethereum good enough, or can they make enhancements? Because anything about open source, if someone's better than you, you can just copy paste and fix it.
Right.
But they've been slow to do that. And I guess there is another. We had the merge, now we got the surge coming. So that's something. But at the end of the day, Solana has proven that despite all their problems, right? And we made a lot of money in Solana, right? Thank you, Kyle and Tushar. But I never really believed in it because it kept failing and transaction would vaporize. And but they fixed some problems and they got better and they got more adoption. Now, are meme coins enough? Probably not. But they've done a good job resuscitating themselves when they were on the verge of being done, like literally done, 2 years ago. SWI has come out of nowhere. They've got a look. They had they were born on third base and think they hit a triple, kind of launched by big flashy people, and so now they got to prove it. Right now they got to get home.
Could happen.
It could happen. No, it absolutely could happen. But at the end, innovation wins out, I think, and real innovation in these areas around, speed, reliability, consistency, and cost are what drives us. And we've talked about this before. Look, I think this is the greatest time to be an investor in this space. And the internet disrupted two very large industries, media and commerce, right? You're a perfect example of citizen media. And that is incredibly awesome and amazing. And all the market cap that was at, the media mogul business, ABC, NBC, CBS, and the mom and pop shops in commerce have now gone to places like Amazon and Netflix. Well, the financial services business is much bigger. It's $7 trillion with a T per year. That's not the value. That's the amount that's transacted per year. And we are going to displace all of that into these digital tools. Huge opportunities. I actually think it's a pretty bad misnomer to call it inflation, right? Inflation is created when there's excess demand for limited goods. And Larry's point on deglobalization, that's absolutely true. If we're going to get more protectionist and we're going to have tariffs and we're going to do all these things, those will raise prices and they'll make goods harder to get, more scarce resources, prices rise. Okay, that's fine. But that's not what we're talking about here. That's not why the Fed is cutting interest rates. That's not why global liquidity is surging. This is just a race to the bottom, Paul. This is currency devaluation. It is theft, right? This idea that inflation is somehow good for us makes no sense at all, right? So what Larry's really talking about is the reason you need to own hard assets, gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, collectible art, etc., or better, Bitcoin, digital gold, is to protect you from the ravages of this thing that we call inflation. So somehow convincing the world that the Fed has your back and it's doing things to protect you and manufacturing this inflation, that's good, so you'll get a 2% wage raise, cost of living adjustment. It's all a lie. It's literally a lie. And it's a gigantic lie that's been perpetuated for centuries.
Yusko argues that Bitcoin's upcoming halving event and the geopolitical landscape position it for a significant breakout. He expects Bitcoin to breach six-digit valuations, fueled by network effects, momentum trading, and increasing recognition of its value as digital gold. Meanwhile, the broader blockchain ecosystem will continue evolving, with projects like Ethereum, Solana, and others competing for dominance. Yusko's insights remind us that while digital assets offer immense opportunities, they also demand careful navigation. Investors must be vigilant, discerning between meaningful innovation and speculative hype. As the financial world shifts toward blockchain-based systems, Bitcoin and other digital assets will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of finance.
Please like and subscribe my channel.